my scrubby peeps. How are you guys doing today? I have a Sketching It Up with Megan and Hannah layout for you. Megan already posted hers a couple of days ago, but because of the holiday and stuff, I just didn't get mine done the same day or get mine up on the same day that she did. But here is my layout anyway. I figured you guys would want to see it. And I am going to be using a sketch that Megan picked. So when we do it, we're gonna try to go back and forth between my sketches that I picked and sketches that she picked. And this one is a sketch by Design by Diana at designbydianablogspot.com. I'll make sure I have a link below. And I'm going to be using a big photo instead of a medium size photo and two smaller ones, and I'm going to use some journaling card type things for the other pieces. That was my thought. So I have this printable from In a Creative Bubble .com. I don't know if it's .com, but it's In a Creative Bubble, and it's an online store that has digital journaling cards and stamps and stuff. So they're really, really cute. If you like that kind of stuff, I would definitely recommend checking them out. She has tons of different things. I mean, literally you could spend like so much money in there. But each piece really isn't that much money. So, and you get a handful of cards that you just print out at home. So I am using the Travelogue journaling cards. They're really, really cute. There's lots of prompts for journaling, and then there's also like just cards that you can use. So she has a lot of different cities in the United States and stuff, and she might even have some stuff from Canada too, if I remember correctly. But anyway, so now so I'm adapting this layout because I want to use this big photo, and I thought about using other smaller photos, but because this is such a big photo and I wanted it really big because it's an amazing photo, and yeah, so I'm working on the banner, and it has a banner all along the bottom part of the layout. And actually it was supposed to go past the photo, but because I'm using such a big photo, I'm just pretty much going to have it line up with the photo. And I just pulled out some of that acetate. I want to say it's from Studio Calco 7 paper, but I don't know that for a fact now that I think that, my brain wants to say that it actually isn't, and it's from something else, but I'm not positive. So if you remember where this acetate came from, it's just like a silvery gold acetate piece, like a big one. It was a big piece. But anyway, I had a whole bunch left over, and I thought that would be really fun to add to a banner, because I know I don't use banners very often because sometimes it can be overwhelming and it can just be a lot. And so I'm not always a big fan of banners. I did decide not to use a banner along the side, the long side. So it was also supposed to have like this big banner with that orange, it's like a coral orangey pink color, like salmon maybe. I just had that end. Like I said, I'm not a big banner person, so I just have to be in the mood to put that in, and it just didn't feel right to want to do that. So now I'm just gluing or like taping everything down. I did put those, and I'm gonna move around the Dear Lizzie ones because I decided to use 2 of them face up, so it ends up being the darker side. I just thought that looked kind of fun and added a little bit more of interest. even though I really do like all of that lighter color, I wanted something darker and a little bit more florals in this. It's really going to play well with all the green from the evergreen trees. And like I said, I did put those on pop dots because they are on a different layer than the acetate. The acetate I put underneath, and I really like how that turned out and looks. It just ends up being really, really fun. So I also want to mention, don't forget to look in the info box below because I will have links to where you can find the sketch. I will have a link to In a Creative Bubble. I'm also going to be using a printable label from Caitlin Schaefer's website. So she has free printable labels in different colors. They're really, really fun. And I will also have a link to Megan's channel and her video so that you can watch her video too if you haven't seen it. And so now I'm working on the title, and I decided to pull out these Dear Lizzy like typewriter type thickers. I really love them. They're one of the first few packs of thickers that I actually ever bought, and I'm almost done with them. And then I also have these silver ones, and these are also from Dear Lizzy. So both of those are actually Dear Lizzy thickers from old kit or like collections. I'm not sure which one the silver is from, but it's called Lemon Drop. And I usually use gold, and on that acetate it has almost a gold. It's hard to tell if it's gold or silver, so it works out really well, and I really like that. So I'm gonna have it read out my backyard. So I have to glue these round ones down because they do not really stick at all. And I know, like, when I first originally used these, I didn't put anything on them and they just all fell right away. Like, they didn't even make it like a week, I don't think. That's the one thing I hate about some of the thickers, just do not stick. I mean, I guess it makes it more repositional, but I don't know. Once I put it on the layout, sometimes I just want it to stick. I'm going to use some of these Dear Lizzy Saturday transparency stickers, and I did put something. It's mostly on the evergreen trees, but it does a little bit of it goes on to the mountain, which is actually a volcano. But it says a life filled with magic. I just thought it was perfect. I really like that magic, and it kind of plays. So on each of the smaller photos, which I'm going to be using like those journaling cards, there was a like label and a tag sticking out from each of them. So I'm going to try to find some stuff to stick out on these because I want some elements that are similar to what was in the sketch, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And as you can see, I'm playing around with that card from Maggie Holmes Chasing Dreams because I just wasn't sure if I wanted to keep that or if I wanted to add something else, if I wanted it under or over. Ugh, it took me a while to figure that out, and I think it's just because I wanted to make it perfect because I don't have a lot of extra stuff on here besides what is on the layout. So because I changed it up, I wanted it to look really cool. And I have this chipboard piece from the Chasing Dreams that just says XO and a whole bunch of hearts. And it's really pretty. And I fool around with that quite a bit because I feel like it was too level with the heart at first on the other side, but I want it to nestle in, and I want it to have a nice nestled in feel with that title already. So I'm going to play around with it quite a bit before I decide to stick it kind of underneath where that other heart is. So I feel like it works a little bit better there. And then I pull out some of this cork that I had left over from a Citrus Twist kit, and I used that other arrow too down at the bottom, and I really like that. So those are kind of like some of the elements that are sticking off of the card. And because I use that circle that says joy up in that top, I'm also going to find some circly elements to add to that second card. So this is one of the things that I try to do is if I use a certain element in one of the embellishment clusters, I try to add it to the other one so it makes it seem a little bit more cohesive. And you don't have to do it that way, but and I also wanted to use some of these puffy stickers that I have from the Pink Paisley. I want to say it's the Outdoor Life or something like that, or the Great Outdoors or something. It was last year's summer collection, I think, from Pink Paisley. And I only have the puffy stickers from that. But that gray I thought would work really well with some of the grays and colors. And then I also just punched out a tab or a small tag from one of the papers from the Dear Lizzie paper. So I use a lot of Dear Lizzie and I use a lot of Chasing Dreams, and I have these wood buttons from Chasing Dreams. I still have tons of stuff from Chasing Dreams because I really haven't used too much of it because it's so pretty. I want to save it and keep it forever, but I want to use it. But I also add some of the Dear Lizzie wood button pieces and some of the gold. So there is some gold and silver mixing, but I don't mind, and it's not right next to each other, and so I don't think it looks too bad. And then I did put that enamel dot inside of the camera, but I'm gonna go back and switch the color to the pink instead of the blue. I just think that looks a little bit better. And then I'm going to add a tag to over near where it says out. So I am almost done. I'm going to end up adding my journaling after, so you'll see that in the close-ups. But I thank you guys for watching my channel. I'll be around. I'm hoping, so I know a whole bunch of people are doing the July video a day for the whole month of July. I can't commit to a video a day, but I'm hoping to get some extra videos out for you guys. So fingers crossed that I can keep busy and get a layout or two done a day on the days that I am able to create, but sometimes it's just not possible. But I do have this, and I have another layout that's going to be out later. So look forward to seeing hopefully a few extra things, and I will see you guys later. Have a great scrappy week. Bye!